Maybe it's the draft guy in me, but I don't think looking long term for the Tennessee Titans, I don't think losing these last two games is a negative thing. Sure, yes. Getting to the playoffs, beating Jacksonville and getting to the playoffs is huge because you always want to get into the tournament. You always want a chance, and who knows, you win a few games. But if I'm being realistic and as an outsider looking at this Tennessee Titans team, yes, you beat the Jaguars, you go into the playoffs, you're in the playoffs. But I think most Titan fans, you have to assume that they're not going to go very far. They're going to host a playoff game, but they're probably going to get beat. And to me, the big difference is this team needs to set themselves up for the future. Right? They drafted Malik Willis in the third round last year. He looks a long ways off. Ryan Tannehill looks shot. The difference between winning that Jacksonville game and losing it is about 10 picks, potentially. Currently speaking, after the Cowboys lost, and I know it's the only game to be played in week 17, 16, whatever it is, they'd be sitting at the 12th pick. They're sitting at the 12th pick right now. If they lose that Jacksonville game, they're likely looking at probably like the 10th pick, maybe like the 9th or that. Compared to if they win that Jacksonville game, they're probably picking 19th. So that's a 10-pick difference. By winning that game, by winning the game against Jacksonville, that's going to push them into that 19th spot. That's going to, in effect, eliminate them from the quarterback discussion. Right? This 2023 NFL draft class has got three, I think, top quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson's that fourth guy. I think he's good, but he's a project, a guy that's going to need some time. Still think he could be good, don't get me wrong. But by picking 19th, yes, you can trade up, and we've seen the Bears trade up from 20th to 12th or 11th to get Justin Fields. I think that was a little bit of an outlier. By being in this top 10, that puts the Titans within striking distance. You don't have to give up as much to get into that top 3, top 5, to get a quarterback as if you were picking 19th, 20th, whatever it may be. Because if we honestly look at this Titans roster, they've got a lot of talent. Injuries killed this team this year. Don't get me wrong. But they need a quarterback. This is a quarterback league. And by losing that game, I don't know if they're going to tank it because you don't want to lose on purpose to get to the playoffs. But by losing that game, you're putting yourself in a spot. Now at 9, now at 10, you can make a move to get up to 2. The Chicago Bears are probably going to finish with probably the second pick in this draft. They don't need a quarterback. They're wanting to move down. You send the 9th pick, the 10th pick, next year's first round pick, you could probably move up to number 2 to get that. You can move up into the top 5. You're battling Carolina, Indianapolis to move up to get those picks. And I think picking at 9 or 10, if you lose that Jacksonville game, sets you up. Because like we've seen, Dobbs is not a starting quarterback. Malik Willis might, but it's still going to be a long ways off. You need to go out and to get somebody. You go out and you get a quarterback, a guy that you can build around, and then you have some of the guys get back. You got Traylon Burks, who looks like he's going to be a good NFL receiver. You've got Derrick Henry, who's a stud running back. You still have issues on the offensive line, but you can get those guys in the second, third round. We saw Nicholas Petit-Frere get drafted in the mid-round, starting right tackle, played really well this year. So you don't want to lose games, and you especially don't want to lose out in the playoffs. But if the Titans do lose to the Jaguars, I don't think this is a worst-case scenario, and I think it could set this franchise up better for the future.